mentioned, it's been quite a year. It's been quite a last year and a half, maybe a couple years. As I mentioned, it's been interesting for me, as I've always identified myself with my faith, and now I've had a faith crisis this year. It can really throw you for a loop. And I guess last year I was engaged to this beautiful girl, and it was actually my third time I was engaged, because I was trying to live my purpose and trying to make it work, and that's what I thought I needed to do. And it was interesting, each time I was engaged, 3 times, they would say the same thing. They would say, like, "You're so cold." And it's just, they would ask, like, what did I do wrong? Like, is something that I did wrong? And which I guess is common to feel like if you feel something going on in the relationship, it's like, what did I do? What can I do to make it better? But one of them really, it stuck out to me what she said. She's like, "I'm used to feeling loved, and with you it feels so cold." And mind you, we were engaged. So I thought, like, I thought I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, like I'm committing myself to you, and I'm like, we're literally here at my mom's house, you're meeting my family and everything, like I'm spending time with you, I'm talking to you on the phone for as long as you want, and I don't know what else I'm supposed to be giving. And she was like, "I'm used to feeling adored, and I don't feel that from you." And I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this was spoiled or something." But after I'd broken that engagement off and had 2 others, and the fact that they were saying the same thing, like, you know, it feels so cold with you, and you feel distant. And I knew in the back of my head why, but I didn't want to admit that, because I thought, no, if I admit anything, then that's where my problems are really going to begin. That's where this like badness that I've been trying to run away from, trying to get rid of inside of me for so long, will eventually come up and destroy me. So in this last engagement, that was last year, in 2021, I thought, I'm going to give it one more try. I'm just going to make this work, and because I'd always been raised and taught, you know, I need to marry a girl and, you know, be happily ever after. But I knew, I started getting such bad anxiety attacks, and it felt like my world was really crumbling, and I thought, oh no, I just have to push through, but I had to I think I just had to accept the fact that I liked guys, and that was really hard for me to admit, because I thought if I admitted that my world was going to end, even though I had grown up with it, like always. But I thought, you know, I'm gonna just, one time I got such a bad anxiety attack, I just said, I need you to leave, I can't see you anymore, like, I need like 3 weeks. And she was awesome. She gave me the time I needed. And she's like, okay, take the time you need. And I was just praying and like fasting and just everything I could to change. And I've been doing that for like, since I was a teenager already. Just, God, please, you know this about me. Like, just help me get through this, help me change. Like, you can change water into wine. You can make the blind see. You can raise the dead. Surely you can change me. But like, I guess after several years, you think, okay, maybe God doesn't like me. Maybe I did something wrong. Or maybe I'm cursed because I'm still the way I am. And I don't think the way I am is good. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try to like be a good person, I'm not getting rid of this feeling inside of me that I like guys. So maybe I did something wrong. And no matter how much I try to get faith, I must just not have enough faith because I'm still the way I am. And it just gets to a point where you think, okay, I can only like pretend I'm not like this for so long before it just consumes you. You start feeling this hatred, this anger, and this resentment towards the person you're supposed to be in love with, this girl that I was engaged to. I started to feel anger, and I'm like, I'm not this way. Why am I feeling so much hatred and resentment? And I guess I was feeling so much for myself that it was like pouring out onto her. And I felt like she doesn't deserve this. Like, these girls deserve to feel loved, and I just had to admit that I can't desire them the way that they deserve to be desired. And but you think, but what can I do? Like, I don't want to be like this. I'm scared. And so I know eventually, like at a point last year, I just said, I know I can't hold this in any longer. But if I admit that I have these feelings, like, what's going to happen to me? Like, I'm scared. I'm scared of like what, you know, if God's out there, like I'm afraid of what he thinks of me. And so you just start thinking, well, before I admit this, which probably means like it's going to come out of me, and I thought maybe it's better if I'm just not here anymore. And so like during this period of time, I'm like, I need to be alone and I need to just isolate myself. I don't want to see anyone, because anyone I saw, I felt so much anxiety and so much hate. But it can be dangerous to isolate yourself, because then these thoughts come in and you're like, well, you know, maybe if I just drive off the side of the road or something, just go fast, like it won't look like I did it on purpose. But I'm just so sick of being here and being like this, and I don't know what to do. I've tried everything I know how, and it's still not enough. So, but maybe it's like, maybe I can make, if like maybe it's better that I'm not here, because if I stay here, I know this is going to come out of me eventually. And so maybe that's what God would prefer, because you just think it's so evil. Like, I don't want to be bad, I don't want to be evil, but I don't know what else to do. So one time during these few weeks, I just was feeling so numb and just feeling so lost. And I was praying still, but I just felt nothing. And I'm like, why am I even doing this? Like, I feel absolutely nothing. And you know, if there is a God, he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't like me because he made me this way. And anyone who's made this way must be evil. And so I'm evil. So why even be here? But I got on my knees. I suddenly just felt this feeling of like peace. And like someone was there looking out for me, that I wasn't alone. And so I just dropped to my knees immediately. And I was like, that must be God. Because I haven't felt this in so long. And so I just said, God, if you're really there, please just, if you really have a purpose for me, please change me, because I don't know what else to do, and I don't want to be in a way that you don't want me to be. And I'm just so tired because, at least what I thought, like I said, I've had a faith crisis. But what I always knew, and I always recognized as that voice of God and like the voice of the Spirit, said, like, David, you need to stop asking me this. I don't see you the same way you see yourself. I don't see you the same way a lot of people, a lot of well-meaning people who are like following me, trying to follow me. I don't see you the same way they do. And now I need you to understand why. Because you keep asking me to change something that I don't intend to change. You've been asking for over half of your life now. And as you can see, I'm not going to change it because it's not supposed to. I need you to see you the way I see you. And I said, first I was like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that. I said, but I don't want to mess up. God just said, like, well, then perhaps you need to do what you think are mistakes. Don't you realize, David, I give you permission to make mistakes. You're allowed to make mistakes. And as you do what you think are mistakes, you're going to realize they weren't mistakes in the first place. And if you do mess up, well, that's why I'm here. We can work through them together. You can always come to me. But you need to stop asking me this. And I knew what that meant. I was like, okay, I know what I think are mistakes. That was like getting to know a guy. And something I never thought I would allow myself to get to that point. Because I thought I'd resist and fight and beat back that evil feeling. But it turned out to be such a beautiful feeling because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm known for this song Crush, and like people are like coming up to me saying, I relate to this song so much, and I never could. And I was like, oh, now I understand why people like love that feeling, because I always hated that feeling. My sisters would always be like, oh, well, do you feel like if I was dating a girl, I'm like, I would literally ask my little sisters, like, how do you know if you like someone? Because I couldn't tell, I didn't know. And they're like, well, do you feel like kissing them? Do you feel like holding their hand? And I would get so upset about that. Because I was like, why does that matter? They're like, well, it's just like an easy way. I'm like, well, it shouldn't matter. Because I was in, denial with myself. But I am learning how to love myself as I am, which is something I was never able to do before, because I always thought I had to hate a part of myself in order to be okay with God. But in that process, I thought it was better to not be here and not exist, because I thought that was the right thing to do. And I'm realizing, like, I can be happy, I can have joy even as I am. And if you know anyone who is LGBT, part of the LGBT community, I just hope that you can give them compassion and listen to them and see. It can be really hard sometimes because you think you're bad, you think you're evil just for being. You get feelings, and it's not even like these evil, lustful feelings or feelings. It's just like, oh, I want to say hi to that person. I want to ask how they are. I want to go have lunch with them. I want to help them reach their goals. Like, I want to hold their hand or give them a hug. It's like the same feelings that anyone else feels, just for some reason we were designed differently. And instead of trying to ask why, like, God, why am I like this? Just be okay that not all of us are the same. And God still has a purpose for us to live as we are and to love as we are designed to do that, even if it looks a little different than the norm. But if you've wondered that, and if you've wondered if you're worth being here, if it's any worth, I just want you to know, like, you're not alone. I know I've gone through that, and you're not alone, and you do matter, and there's every reason for you to be here, and love who you love. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be scared, because it's a beautiful feeling. Allow yourself to know what it's like, what everyone else is talking about. I didn't know. I couldn't experience that for some reason with the girl. But I've been able to feel that when I'm getting to know a guy, and it's scary to talk about people when they may not understand, but it's been so worth it. So, this song is, I had in a dream one time a few years ago, and I was actually praying about the same thing. I've been praying for over half my life for. And this was what I heard in that dream, and I call it my little prayer. Heavenly Father, I am grateful for your eternal presence. I am learning to be patient, and that you are really there. Sometimes I am afraid, and I know that's lacking faith, that I'm beginning to understand that for me you have a plan. Heavenly Father, I am grateful for you sending your Son to die so that I live, and for never giving up. I'm learning every day that I won't always have my way, that I'm beginning to understand that for me you have a plan. Heavenly Father, I am grateful for you hearing my prayer. I am learning to be patient, and that you are really there. There are answers I receive. No, they're not always immediate. Sometimes I have felt defeated. That's when I kneel down in prayer. You've shown me you hear my prayer. I'm amazed by how you care, 'cause you hear